Hi, my name is Gretchen. This is day 6.1 of the Servant Program, and today we're going to be talking about past versus present desires. So we have past and present desires. A present desire is one that we're just working to identify the process we need to engage in to obtain it. It's a desire for which we're just starting to ask our cause for, to help us to obtain. And we have not yet obtained any sustainable results in regards to it. So it's basically our new goals. A past desire is one that we have chosen to pursue in the past. We've been working on it quite some time with a cause to obtain. We have obtained at least an incremental level of it, and we're already enjoying some of the privileges and responsibility that come with having this result. We enjoy these things even though we have not yet completed the full inherent process to obtain it. Thus, our past desires are more like our present commitments. Our past desires are kind of like buying something on credit, like a home. We haven't paid for it in full, but we're able to enjoy the privileges and responsibilities that come with home ownership. We commit to maintaining the house as well as making monthly payments so that someday the house can truly belong to us. If we neglect the responsibilities, we cease being able to enjoy the privileges. Since I've already asked you many times in days 1 through 5 what your present desire is, take a few minutes to think about, well, what are your past desires? What are your present commitments? Our present desires usually build on our past desires. This is how we grow. For example, if we had a past desire to climb to a certain elevation on a mountain, and then we actually achieve that goal, we may then develop the desire to go even further up. So think about this question. Does your present desire build upon your past desires? Conflict arises when our present desires conflict with our past desires. In that case, we need to make a choice between them. So one could be good and the other could be bad, and that's a black and white choice. But oftentimes we have to make choices between two good options. And other times, though, there is one better choice. But sometimes there is a best choice out of many good choices. So evaluating the opportunity costs of each choice is how we choose between good, better, and best. In my mind, I usually see past desires as taking priority over my present desires. That's because they're my commitments. I believe my present desires need to build upon those past ones. If they conflict with my past ones, I need to disregard them. But if we have specific past desires that have returned conflicting results, like virulent sorrow, bad habits, or black hole type relationships, then we're preventing those involved from obtaining sustainable joy. So a present desire may actually be better than a past desire in that case. And if it's the case, we're actually talking about repentance, and we're talking about being saved. We're talking about getting out of bondage, being saved from bondage, addictions, traps, and parasitic relationships. An example of this is the story of the children of Israel when they were in Egypt. They had established a very good relationship with the Egyptians and all the pharaohs for hundreds of years, beginning with Joseph when he was in Egypt. But over the centuries, the relationship changed as the pharaohs changed. By the time Moses was born, the children of Israel were forced to be the slaves of the Egyptians. The past desire was their relationship with the Egyptians and their home there in Goshen. Egypt was once a great place for them. In fact, God had preserved Israel's family by bringing them into the country during a major famine. But things changed. Commitments were forgotten and broken. The present desire was to get out of bondage because Pharaoh did not plan on allowing the Israelites to live in Egypt as citizens, free to worship their God. He would not change to rectify the relationship. So Israel's cry was, "Deliver us." Nowadays, most people give up on their past desires way too soon. They don't even try to resolve the conflict before they say, "I'm out of here." They throw the baby out with the bathwater. If we do this with our past desires, we're never going to be able to obtain sustainable results. We'll stick with whatever present desire we have until the going gets tough, and then jump ship once it becomes a non-functional or a burdensome past desire or commitment. If we don't like commitment, we have issues. We're not going to ever be able to, we're never going to be able to obtain those sustainable results, including sustainable joy. Being able to discern when it is best to choose our present desire over our past desire is a very difficult skill to acquire. In fact, I would say that it isn't a decision that can be made without having developed first a relationship with our general cause. If we're stuck in a conflicting result, how do we know there isn't something we can change in ourselves to resolve the conflict? And that's hard. It's hard for each of us to admit that maybe the issue is with us. It's, I think, part of the natural man, the natural woman to say, hey, it's the other guy's issue. When the going gets tough, many of us are tempted to blame it on something else or someone else. On the other hand, sometimes we blame ourselves too much and we get into toxic shame and can't get out. Sometimes we assume that the desire is impossible to obtain. This is another reason why it's so important to develop our relationship with our general cause. He is able to ascertain the situation objectively. He knows exactly what's going on. He's able to identify the puzzle pieces and he knows how they fit together. He'll help us know what's within our control to change and what is not. He can help us resolve conflicts that seem unresolvable. And he knows when enough is enough. If your present desire conflicts with your past, evaluate your opportunity cost for choosing each one. In giving up this desire, what privileges will you also give up? What privileges will you be gaining? What responsibilities will you also give up? And what responsibilities will you be gaining? What relationships will you need to separate from? And what relationships will you need to develop actively?